Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, it's Raidhyn, and tonight I wanted to show you a very special game called Endless Legend. Now, for those of you who have been watching my Dungeon of the Endless Let's Plays, you may have picked up on the video recently that I played multiplayer with Belphegor, and we defeated the dungeon and actually made it out. And Endless Legend, in the connection of all of the Endless games by Amplitude Studios, is the game that takes place 1,000 years after Dungeon of the Endless. Yes, there is a big, sweeping, connected storyline. Now, Endless Legend, is a 4X strategy game, and Amplitude Studios is kind of known for making all strategy titles. And this game has gotten a lot of fanfare recently. It's even picked up some Game of the Year awards from different publications, and it's a game that kind of takes all of the things that you love about 4X strategy games and combines them all in a really epic sort of way. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of talk through some of the cool things about this game and some of the mechanics, just to kind of give you an overview and show you what it's all about. In case you've been on the fence about picking it up, or you just want to see some of the other games that are knocking around in my library, we're just going to go ahead and check this out. So what we're going to do is we're going to play as the Vaulters, since from what I remember, the Vaulters are the, in the storyline, are the seed race of the Dungeon of the Endless escapees, so to speak. So what's really cool about all of the emperors or empires in all of the factions in Endless Legend is that they're all very different, and they have all of these different bonuses and different effects from the get-go that really affect the way that you play them. So for instance, Knack for Knowledge, we get extra science based on terrain. We get +1 resource on any strategic resource deposit, which is really cool. We also start with we'll also be able to unlock Deep Generator, Endless Recycling, and Strength of the Vault, which are 3 unique technologies unique to this empire. And we'll also, these are what our units look like. They look pretty awesome. Got some really cool armor going on there. And we'll also have these Open Pit Mine and Public Library will be our starting technologies. So an emphasis there on resources and expansion in addition to science. So what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to set the game to fast. I'm going to leave it on normal difficulty, leave everything else pretty normal. We'll just go ahead and get started. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to show you guys this. And this is a series where I'm just kind of going to be going through my game library and kind of showing off games that I really enjoy and that I think you should check out. Honestly, I haven't played as much Endless Legend as I would have liked, largely because 4X games are stupidly time consuming, and I kind of go in and out of wanting to play different game genres. Let's go ahead and watch this real quick.
Safe in our halls and mines, we ignored these old tales. But then the Great Quake cracked our halls open, revealing ancient secrets and relics. These unknown relics carried our patterns, our images, hints of a hidden past. We took them and fled the destruction, seeking a new life on the surface. Now the legends and relics of our past show the way to our future. The journey will be dangerous, sometimes deadly, but we go forth without fear or ignorance. For courage and knowledge are the bywords of the Vaulters.
Alright, so let's head to the main map screen here. We've encountered the Empire of Samutanada. We'll talk about that in a minute. So this is the map overview. As you can see, when you scroll out, it turns into this nice kind of paper map type of view. And then as we zoom back in, we can see our starting hero. So there is a hero function in this game where basically you can assign heroes to military units to provide them with bonuses, and they also fight in combat, or you can assign heroes to towns to upgrade your city's resources and things like that. Now we do start with a settler. So like any other 4X game, we're going to go ahead and try to settle as quickly as possible on some good nearby resources. So if we pick our settler and we just click on colonization, we can actually see here on the map what the resources look like. So every endless game, every game by Amplitude Studios uses the FIDS system, FIDS, or Food, Industry, Dust, and Science. So like most other 4X games, we are going to want to start somewhere that's got a nice food surplus. So I'm thinking, yeah, right around here looks good. We get a good balance of food, science, and production going. We'll go ahead and just drop it where we're standing. And then basically everything that you need to know is at your fingertips. So if we look over here on the left, we have all of our menu options. Right here is our city. And we can actually rename this. So let's call this Raidhyn's. Whoa. Pretty short names there. Okay. Raidhyn Land? No. We'll call this... Oh man. We'll just call it Chicago because that's where I live and that's awesome. So here in the city of Chicago. All right, so city info. We can see now how much we're producing each turn, and this is our current population. We are assigning him to food, and we can actually pick him up and move him around to allot resources to wherever we want, but for now we're just going to leave him on food. And yeah, so this is pretty much it. You can see the contentedness of your city. You can see what the population growth is going to be like. So we have 2 turns before we get another population. And then it's also showing us what the upkeep is as well. So to start off, down here is our build area. So to start off, we're going to build a Founders Memorial, which is going to give us bonuses to everything. And if you look on the tooltip here on the bottom left, you can see there's a +1 star on city, which is the renown mechanic in the game. But we're going to build a Founders Memorial first, and then afterwards we're going to go ahead and build another marine or 2, and then a public library. So we'll talk about city growth in a minute. One of the interesting things about Endless Legend is every time you start off, every time you start the game, you have these starting quests, and they kind of pop up as you're playing, as you go around. And there's also these temple ruins that are scattered around the map, different types of ruins, and as you explore them you can unlock bonuses and items or free resources or anything like that. So we're gonna go ahead and just start searching through this stuff. But as you can see, one of the things that I do love about this game is just how gorgeous the graphics are. Let's minimize this real quick. I mean, just look at it. Like, it runs silky smooth. It looks lovely. And I really like this zoomed out view as well, where you can kind of see the footprint of your city and a quick overview of everything, you know, major resources and things like that. So, and it's one of the things the game has been praised for, is just how awesome it looks. Let's go ahead and open this back up. So we have a new quest, a Relic of the Past. And basically, as you get these quests, it's going to send you around the map, kind of scouting to different points. So it wants us in 5 turns to search for a relic, the Unspoiled Ruins, illuminated by rays of dust. So if we scroll out, we can see that's going to be down here. So let's go ahead and head in this direction, and we'll try to pick up some things along the way. So one of the things, we should probably research technology. Let's do that. So this is the technology tree screen, and as you can see, it kind of goes through these ages of technology, and the way that it works is you don't have to research every single technology, but as you do, this inner circle will kind of fill up and then allow you to unlock the second one here. So for now, what I want to do is try to find something that's going to help out our population growth. So let's go ahead and research seed storage, which is our main city improvement for food. We'll knock that out first, and you can actually queue all these up. So we'll also research sewer system, which makes our population more happy. We'll get some dust growth as well, and then we'll do open pit mine, which should give us access to some of our extractor resources. And now we can end our turn. Alright, new quest added. In a region that belongs to your empire, pacify at least 1 village of a minor faction and assimilate them. So, minor factions in the game are pretty interesting, and I'm sure we'll run into one soon. And what they are, they're basically different races that live within your within your region, and if you conquer them and assimilate them into your empire, you can then recruit special units, in addition to getting other types of special bonuses as you go along. Now, I don't think we've scouted out what our minor faction is in the realm of Chicago, but we will look for that here shortly. I just want to knock this quest out first. So yep, we're just going through, we're checking things out in the ruins. But yeah, I've been kind of impressed by how much attention this game has been getting in the press recently, and just how good the reception has been, because I originally picked it up, like I do with most of Amplitude Studios games, really early on in early access, and then kind of left it alone for a while. Here we go, here's an example of a minor faction, the Silix. Slow-moving elementals heavily affected by dust. So if we were to assimilate these guys, we would get this bonus right here, resource per pacified Silix village on strategic resource deposit. We would also be able to pick up this special unit, which looks like an infantry with some pretty interesting attacks. We'll get into combat here in a minute. I want to make sure that I show that to you before we end the video. And it looks like our hero is leveled up, so this is pretty interesting. Now, the heroes have a huge amount of customization. The normal units do as well, but heroes have, as you can see, all these individual armor items that you can upgrade over time. They have all these special abilities that affect how they impact your troop movement and their performance in combat. And then they also come with their own skill tree, so we can pick one of these that's going to give us a permanent bonus. So some of these, as you can see, are more towards city bonuses, and others are more for combat. So we're going to go ahead and level up this combat one here. That's going to give us more movement on units. And we're going to go back and end our turn. Now, I will be honest, part of the reason why I haven't decided to make a full-on Let's Play of a 4X game is because I honestly just don't know how I would do it. I've watched commentary of other 4X games. Like I watch a Roomba who does pretty much all 4X or strategy games, but it just doesn't seem like something that I am well suited for, even though I do love this genre of games. So we've completed our objective. Place match the description right down to the eerie feelings. We got a new sword, it looks like, and we can search this ruin again. So let's go ahead and open our hero screen back up and see if we can actually outfit them with a sword. Is it here? Is it here? Let's see. Oh. Not sure where that went. Alright, but that's fine for now. Let's go ahead and close this. And let's see what else is nearby. Alright. So we have this minor faction camp, but I kind of want to go back and explore the area by us. So we'll go over here and see if we can't find our minor faction. And then maybe we can figure out what happened to our missing sword. The population has changed in one of our cities, and we've encountered a new minor faction that looks pretty disturbing, but they're the ones on our borders. So maybe we can pull up that window again and find out what's going on there. Alright, so we have the option to attack them. Let's go ahead and do that just so we can display some combat. And we are going to do a manual battle so you guys can see how this looks. So when you go into combat, it basically pulls out of immediately where you are and changes it into this combat-oriented field. At which point we can move our troops around so that they're stationed exactly how we want them. And I believe our lady has a crossbow here, and these guys are more close combat oriented. So we're gonna try to divvy them up like this. And then once we're all ready to go, we basically hit this ready button, and then it goes into turn-based combat. So we can assign targets, and once we're gonna pile onto this guy up front basically, and then once we're ready to go, we hit launch, and then combat kind of plays out. And so you basically each turn are able to decide if you want to use any special abilities or if you want to change targets or anything like that. It looks like this poor unit up here is going to be bearing the brunt of all of the damage. And then the units will essentially, you know, follow your orders to the best of their abilities. Let's see if we can't. We'll tell this guy to attack over here. And let's take a look at her really quick and see if there's anything useful for her. No, looks like we're gonna have to wait until later in the game to get any kind of interesting extra abilities, but this should take out our first Hydra. And then everybody should just switch targets onto the remaining enemy. Now there are a couple of things about the game that I am a little fuzzy on as far as to like what these dials mean as far as this little circle goes and some of these other items, but what's really neat about this is just the limitless amount of customization that comes into it. You know, it's not just immediate dice rolls the way it is with a lot of other strategy games, where you just kind of see stacks of armies on the battlefield and you just have to deal with it. So we did lose a unit, but we were able to conquer the camp, which is good. And now we can work on assimilating these guys into our empire. So now that we have this, we can rebuild on that eventually and bring them in. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video now for here, just because I feel like the initial overview of this is done. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to show this to you guys because I think it's a really cool 4X game, and if 4X strategy titles are something that you really enjoy, you should certainly check this out because it is pretty interesting. If you're interested in seeing more of this or more of other types of games from me, just let me know in the comments. You know that I'm always willing to do, you know, a single video on all sorts of titles. Just let me know. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.